backgammon champion. I think I want to talk today about the concept that I was mathematically considering in quite a bit of detail about 3 or 4 years ago. It didn't get widely spread, but I'd at least like to talk about general concepts here. Um, Now, what I'm talking about is backgammon tournaments. So, uh, in particular, we're talking about backgammon tournaments with match lengths of um, preferably, decent size. Most tournaments have 7 to 9 point matches, initially speaking. Once you're in the 9 point match range, then we're talking about something here. Um, a final of 21 point match length is more in line of what I'm speaking of. But now, if you're equal to your opponent, let's say you're in a backgammon tournament, you want to optimize your chances of success, which means you want to optimize the amount of money that you win, right? Overall. So you want to maximize your probabilities of placing, essentially. And that is cogent with the strategy of trying to win as many matches as possible, which generally speaking means that you should try to win as many games as possible. Now, supposing that you're better than your opponent, now if you happen to be of equal strength to your opponent, there's not much to say. It's a coin flip. You're just gonna have to flip coins. But if you're better than your opponent, let's say that your checker play is considerably better, then what you want to do is the optimal strategy is not to employ optimal strategy given by XG-gammon, the neural net learning program, because the assumption built into this machine is that you are equal to your opponent. The assumption is built in what's called METs, which is match equity tables. And these match equity tables were built up uh, from small, uh, like 3 away to large, like 10 away, 12 away, say. Well, under that assumption that you're is just as good as your opponent, nobody's better. Um, there is a book out there written by Jake Jacobson, which uses a computer program developed by Walter Trice, which comes up with net tables, and therefore you can get strategies from these net tables, which is for people of unequal strength, as determined by ELO rating. Uh, we can speak about the accuracy of ELO ratings, but that's another story. In which case, in which you could use, and it is my belief that this book is completely and 100% accurate. I know that there's like some dude out there who his name is Janowski, who created a cubing theory model, which is quite good. But it's not the end all of end all. I've spoke to with him on the phone several times about it and other things. Um, but he seems to think that it's God's gift to backgammon. Anyway, I apologize to him for being so blunt. But he seems to think that the book "Does a Fish Taste Twice as Good" was rigged, essentially. But my mathematical model, the case that I checked, turned out to be exactly the same as the Trice book. So now it's been 3 or 4 years since I came up with it, and it's not complete. It's like the Janowski model, which is not complete. He thinks it's complete, but it's not. Um, so mine is so my model just used opportunity cost in backgammon tournaments. So, thing is, suppose that you're playing. Say a worse player gives you a cube, offers you a cube during a backgammon tournament. Um, this has already changed the nature of the match. The mere offering of a cube already entails the you are going to lose out in terms of number of games played, the total number of games played in this match. Now, being that you're the better player, it is of your interest to play the maximum number of games possible. The more games you play in a backgammon tournament, the more likely you are, in a backgammon match, the more likely you are to win. That just comes from simple mathematics. Um, so if you're playing a 7-point match, for example, you can play 13 games or you can play one game. With one large cube, say an 8 cube, say you double your opponent, he doubles you back, and you redouble. The whole match can take one game. This is not of your interest, right? The best you can do is to play 13 games, to play a cubeless backgammon match, right? In terms of overall winning chances, as it turns out. That might not be obvious, but at any rate. Yet at the same time, you generally will get a case where either your position sucks or it's good. That's just the way backgammon is. So I'm saying you should alter your cube strategy from normal usage, based on your opponent's strength and your position, not just your position and how many points you are away and how many points he is away. And the reason for this is opportunity cost. You're losing the chance to play games, future games in the match. So let's say that you're, let's say you're 9 away and your opponent is 11 away and he doubles you. Well, if you drop, you're both 9 away, 9 away. But if you take, you're 9 away, 10 away. If you take, you will either be 9 away, or 9 away, 7 away. Or, there's also gammon possibilities. Let me maybe step back. This is best displayed graphically, by the way. It's easy to show that there is opportunity cost, and it's possible to calculate the opportunity cost. But the opportunity cost comes in terms of future game losses, the potential to play future games. You have the average number of games that you're likely to play if you drop a cube in the future is less than the average number. It's more than the average number of games that you're likely to play if you take a cube. It's been 3 or 4 years since I've done this, so maybe I should. And the gammonless rate, the gammonless take point should be P over 2 and Q over 2, given P is the probability of you winning and Q is the probability of your opponent winning an individual game, right? This assumes roughly equal cubability. But, for example, let's say that you win, that your ELO is 500 rating points above your opponent's ELO. That means your winning chances of winning an individual game, is 60%, and your opponent's is 40%. Okay, so what P would then be 0.6, Q would be 0.4, and your take point then would be 0.6 over 2, which is 30%. As a we're talking about, say, at the start of the match. So we're along the way. My model incorporated the concept of an infinite, finite match. It just assumed that the match length was so long uh, as to essentially be infinite. So, and then you get the exact Q over 2 and Q over 2. And that's exactly 30%. And if you adjust it for gammon, the typical gammon rates, you get you get a Q of 16% instead of 20%, right? Zero point 0.4 over 2 is 0.2, which is 20%. Adjusted for gammon, it goes to 16%. So if you double your opponent, his take point should be 16%. Because why? By taking, he gets to play fewer games. It's of the interest of the worst player to play fewer games. His match winning chances, therefore, increase the fewer the games that he need play. So, in general, if the concept is that you want to, if you're the better player, you want to play fewer or more games, which means a smaller average cube size, which means that the desire to double should be less than normal, and the desire to take should be less than normal, which means the probability of doubling or the take, let's say take, the probability of when you take should be lower than average, you know. So I just woke up. This is probably a bad topic for me to speak of. Just waking up. At any rate, I should have had pieces of paper and graphs to show this, and I might come back to this. But I just wanted to talk about this. Um, Supposing this is the net table. Okay. Oh, never mind. I should use paper. Okay. Well, this is my initial foray into something non-legal. Okay. Bye.